Hi everyone, and welcome to today's YouTube video. Today's video I'm going to be discussing a fairly controversial topic, especially within the fitness industry, but it's one that's very relevant and has having a big impact in a lot of different spaces in health, fitness, general population. It's definitely changed the landscape going forward. So it's one that today I'm going to go over some simple stuff about what these GLP drugs actually are, who they're for, and what my personal opinion on them is. So to begin with, most of you who are watching, I'm sure you've heard these names on the screen, or you know people that have actually used them or are currently using them. So Ozempic, Wegovy and Mounjaro, these are the kind of more well-known ones that are going about. And these drugs or medications were originally designed to help people to treat obesity, type 2 diabetes, basically people who were or are not in a good place with their health, carrying a lot of weight, they're at risk of a lot of things, or they already have them. And these drugs were designed to dramatically reduce body weight and body fat. So obviously you've probably heard a lot of this stuff, but they reduce appetite, increase the feeling of fullness. I know people personally who've taken them, and they basically said their appetite practically disappears when they're on them. So yeah, it helps obviously consume fewer calories as you have no appetite, and it leads to significant weight loss. Like the studies or the things I've read about them, people can lose 10-20% of their body weight relatively quickly taking these drugs. But I want to be clear on one thing when we're talking about weight loss. These are designed for people who are obese, so you're losing body fat, lean muscle mass, and in that you can lose bone density as well. So it's not necessarily like it's just stripping all the fat away and leaving you with just muscle. You can lose all manner of weight, okay, because that's what they're designed to do. So yes, it is no doubt the biggest breakthrough we've ever seen in obesity treatment in history. It has changed how that's went, and a lot of things like Weight Watchers and similar kind of things like that are probably on the way out if they're not already. I don't know how they're all doing, but people who tend to go to these things, I'd imagine, will gravitate over there, depending on how much weight they've got to lose. But that's what they're designed for, guys. But the real question is, like, we know they work, there's no disputing that, that's very clear. But who should actually be using these drugs, okay? So they are life-changing drugs for people who are obese, people with type 2 diabetes, and those that are at significant risk of health complications. People who have repeatedly struggled to lose weight. We could go on all day about why that might be, but that is who these drugs were designed for. In my opinion, well, it's not an opinion, they weren't designed for people that are just trying to shed a few pounds or a stone to go on holiday. They could probably do the work themselves. It's not for people who are basically avoiding a few simple lifestyle changes, and it could solve everything. But what I'm seeing using them for is quick fixes. People that don't necessarily need to. And the issue I have with that is no matter if you're on the left or the right side of this, you're ultimately going to need to make better lifestyle changes going forward anyway. You cannot simply take these, lose the weight, and then go back to your old lifestyle changes, because you will just end up over time putting that weight back on. So people on the right hand side, personally, and listen, everybody's free to make their own choices, so this is just my opinion, remember. I think that instead of taking these drugs that weren't designed for someone like yourself. I think that you should be implementing healthy lifestyle changes, regular exercise, strict diet or stricter diet, balance around your life, working with a coach, someone like myself, who can keep you accountable and keep you on the right track. That's what I think that you should do. Now, we live in a world where people just want instant results, instant gratification. People aren't willing to put the time and work sacrifice into things, but unfortunately, you're going to have to, eventually, you're going to have to make these changes, or you're just going to keep yo-yoing through various cycles of weight loss until you make these long-term habits and changes. So, been in the industry for 20 years, as a lot of you know. I was a personal trainer, a coach, a multi-site gym owner. I sit on a board advising for leisure trusts, public health. I would like to think, although I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert on drugs and medication, but I'd like to think that my opinion is definitely worth something for how long I've been in the health and fitness industry, the leisure industry, and my view is very simple in this. I do not believe that taking GLP-1 drugs is a form of cheating, but I do believe that they're becoming overused. So, very clear in this, I do believe that they're a very good thing for people who are obese, who are suffering from various health complications or on the verge of it, absolutely. But I do not believe that a lot of people who are using them should be using them just as a quick fix, my personal opinion. And I believe, many people can reach their goals through exercise and nutrition alone. And I think that that is the better long-term route to go for everybody. So the people who do take them to lose the weight, you should still be joining your local gym or taking up a sport, some kind of physical activity, speaking to someone about your diet, whether that's a nutritionist, through the NHS, or get in touch with a coach, whoever it might be. You have to start putting in place much better, sustainable, healthy lifestyle habits, okay? And regular exercise. You've got to look after your health and your fitness as you get older. So long-term change is what we're looking for. These drugs, great for short-term, they take away the dangers, the health complications that you might be having, but ultimately you have to look at the long-term side of things and implementing all of these other changes I've mentioned. And for the people who are jumping on it quickly just to try and lose a few pounds here and there for a holiday or whatever it might be, I would say to you, be very careful what you're doing. Is it really worth doing that? We don't know all the long-term possible implications of these drugs yet, and I think that you would feel better if you just trained regularly, had a good diet, and chipped away at yourself, and got the results that way. But everybody's welcome to do what they think is right for them. This is just my opinion after all. So to summarise this video, for the right person, absolutely GLP-1 medications can be life-changing, but it is medication. It's not something that should ultimately replace exercise and having a good diet. And I believe that for everybody, the goal should always be to build healthy habits for long-term success. Okay, so hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to comment below. I'm also going to leave a link to booking to my coaching form in the comments as well. If you're interested in coaching with myself, feel free to do that. Fill it out, we'll get in a call, we can talk through your goals. So whether you're on GLP-1 or not, it doesn't matter. I'm happy to have an open conversation about your goals and what we can do going forward. So if you enjoyed this, like, subscribe,